What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Robert Saleh earlier in the week was not ready to name a starting quarterback, but that has changed as the New York Jets are now officially starting Zach Wilson on Sunday against the Houston Texans. Zach Wilson is back in the mix.
As far as quarterback is concerned, Zach will be the starter. Trevor will be the backup, and then Rip will be the third emergency.
Now, why are the New York Jets going back to Zach Wilson? Well, he believes that Zach Wilson gives him the best chance to win.
Zach gives us our best chance to win, and giving him another opportunity to go prove that.
How did that conversation go when you told him?
He was good. He's fired up. Like I said on Monday, he came into my office. He wants the ball. And he's excited about getting this opportunity to finish the season strong.
In what I figured was a little bit of a weird quote, not only did he say that he believes now that Zach Wilson is the best chance to win, he said he always believed that Zach Wilson was the best chance to win. And then the reporters naturally were like, well, then why did you bench him? Which is a fair follow-up question to it. And he said they were looking for a spark in the offense, which kind of goes, it's a weird quote. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's a bizarre quote, all things considered, where you're like, well, you thought this other guy gave you the best chance to win, but you played someone else. Like, the wording of that was bizarre, but it goes back to the original point that they are historically bad on offense. Nothing is working. The trade deadline passed. You couldn't get any other quarterback in here or offensive lineman in here or wide receiver in here. You're not changing the play caller in season. As much as I would love to do that, I just don't think that's a realistic option for this team. So your only other card to play was to make a change at quarterback, even if it wasn't a guarantee that it would get any better. And then once they figured out, well, shit, it's not going to get any better, well, here you go. Zach Wilson's going to come back in after sitting for 2 games. And then the backup quarterback is going to be Trevor Siemian and Brett Rippon, who was just signed, and Tim Boyle was released. But Rippon is going to be the emergency third quarterback, which makes sense. I mean, I thought there was a chance we'd see Trevor Siemian play in this game. I also said it wouldn't surprise me if they went right back to Zach Wilson after the reports, which what we'll get into next year. But if they wanted to go back to Zach, like, they could. They always could. Like, it didn't necessarily seem like that was it. Like, you can't ever go back to Zach Wilson at that point if things didn't work out. But anyway, they tried to spark the offense, and it very clearly did not work. But Robert Saleh was naturally asked about what he thought of all the reports, and he said that the locker room's fine, Zach Wilson's fine, and he's not really worried about it.
No, it's I am not concerned one bit about that report within the locker room.
We will see if that's the case, right? Like, I guess we'll see if they, go forward and, play hard and win games and score points and what. But if you kind of get the same game that you've got really the last 3 weeks, it just looks like the effort level is just not there. Like, I get it. They lost to the Chargers to drop to 4-4, and then they lost to the Raiders to drop to 4-5. But at least in the game against the Raiders, they were like pretty competitive. It felt like the Bills game, disaster, gave up. Dolphins game, kind of same thing. And then they just did nothing and had no chance offensively at all against the Falcons. The defense did its job. They allowed 1 touchdown and got a safety. They gifted the Jets 2 points, and they still only kicked 2 field goals. So it's just unbelievably frustrating. We know that every Jet fan is frustrated with the offense, and you can point the blame at wherever you want it to be pointed at, but they are going to go back to Zach Wilson here, and I just hope overall, even if they lose, which if they lose out, fine, you're going to get a top pick. If you win some games, also fine, because this staff cannot. Which is, I believe everyone's coming back. I'm not saying that's the right or wrong decision. I just think we've seen that everyone is going to be coming back. They need some wins. They need to start stacking some wins. So whatever happens kind of a thing. And just I hope that at the least they are a more enjoyable watch than what they've been over the last month plus, because it's been really bad. Now, Robert Saleh was also asked about his conversations with Joe Benigno and if he had any regrets, and he doesn't. No regrets for the conversations. He says he likes Joe B, and I get that. They had a relationship. I think it was really a shitty thing for Joe Benigno to do. I thought that was a really bad, just bad friend move there. They apparently talked on the phone, cleared the air. He was also asked, he being Robert Saleh, was asked about Woody Johnson. He says he talks to Woody Johnson every single day. So I think the relationship is good and it's fair, but I think that's one where you probably wish it was handled differently. And I don't know if I would have had the no regrets thing, but we'll see. That's his choice. That's his decision. That's fine. Last but certainly not least, I know it's very quarterback centric and very Zach Wilson heavy in this show, this episode for today, but wanted to get into a final roster thing where CJ Uzama is placed on IR. Pretty much ends his season. He's going to be done. I don't imagine him making a comeback for what that would be like the final game of the year. He could come off it. Don't think it's worth it. Unfortunately, I think he's probably played his final game as a Jet. I say unfortunately because, like, from his perspective, like, I feel for him. He got paid, pretty good money to come in here. Underperformed in 2 years. I think he got jumped by Jeremy Ruckert, and Kenny Yeboah taking his snaps is not something that I'm necessarily upset about. I'm bummed that he got hurt. I don't want to ever see anyone get hurt. I thought he was definitely a cut candidate. Coming out of the season, the Jets restructured him this past offseason, and I again think that this is going to turn into a player that is cut. And I don't know, I feel for him. I feel for the Jets for it not working out. It stinks. It's going to be the right decision, I believe, to move on from him, but it is what it is, kind of thing. So we'll see how much Kenny Yeboah plays, but expect to see a lot of Tyler Conklin and Jeremy Ruckert, which I'm good with. I like those two guys. And Green Bean, we know, is going to be the happiest guy on the planet now that Kenny Yeboah is activated. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments on everything going on with the New York Jets. Zach Wilson starting, the Jets quarterback situation, Robert Saleh, and any other takeaway you may have from this Robert Saleh press conference. That'll do it for me today. Please make sure to leave a like before you go. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any content. I appreciate it, guys. I'll catch you next time.